In this episode, you'll discover how to prepare for your first regatta and tactics to overcome your fears.
Feel the grip of the oar handle, smooth yet firm in your hands. Taste the salt of your own sweat and the occasional splash of water. It's all part of the journey. Welcome to another episode of Faster Masters Rowing Radio. Each week, our host, Masters Rowing Coach Rebecca Caro, dives deep into the world of Masters Rowing. Whether you're on the water or in the gym, join us to become a faster master. Let's go rowing.
Well, hello everybody, and I'm delighted to be back. At this time, we're talking about your first race. Now, you may have done a first race ages ago, but carry on listening, because today we're going to explain to you how you can help your club and crewmates who might be approaching this with some fear and trepidation. Let's face it, fear is very, very real. And as adults, it's reasonably unusual for us to come to a situation which we have never seen before in our lives. When we're children, everything is new and exciting and challenging and different, and your mental approach and your familiarity with the unknown is very, very different. Coming to rowing in midlife is lovely and a great challenge, and of course we welcome you. But at some point, you'll be faced with a situation like Faster Master Kim Mulvey, who wrote to us saying, "I'm not ready to race. Hi all, I'm very new to rowing and sculling. My club members have nicely encouraged me to do a quads regatta in 1 week, and while I'm a fast learner, I do not feel ready at all." Now, Kim, that time has passed. You did the regatta, but let's talk about what you could have done to address your fears and try to overcome them and prepare yourself for a race. Now, the first race fear is mostly about the unknown. Because you've never been in the situation before, you feel that you don't know what's going to happen, and your natural flight or fight response is triggered. Now, the way to overcome this fear is to get familiar with the situations that you're likely to encounter at a race. And one way to do that is to practice in training. So there are a few things that you can do. Try and do workouts in the crew lineup that you're going to race in. Know which is your seat. Know where your foot stretchers go. Know which pair of oars you're going to be using, so that you know that you can put yourself into a situation in the boat where you're comfortable. Then practice the racing distance if you can. If your first race is on your home waters, then that's great. You can do it precisely from start to finish. If not, try and find a simulation that is as close as possible, because you want to get used to how long it's going to be, how intense it's going to be. What are the things that will arise, like steering around a corner maybe, or being alongside another crew, which is not something that you will naturally see in training unless you get ready and prepare for it. Within your crew itself, you should talk about your race plan. How are you going to approach each of the stages of the race? If you're a regular listener, last week I talked about coxing your first race, and you could listen to that episode because it explains how to quarter the race and the different approaches that you could take when planning how to race it. As a newbie doing your first race, you likely will just be doing as you are told, but it helps if you understand the process whereby your crewmates and whoever is either coxing you or doing the calls at a cox's boat, how they approach the race and the things that they are likely to be saying, so that you can practice those in training as well. So talk about the race plan within your crew, so that they tell you what they think they want to do, and so you know what to expect. And of course, practice that when you're on the water. And then lastly, have a checklist for the race day and the night before. You'll find a good example in a previous podcast episode on our blog. It's called Rowing Regatta Checklist. So if you go to fastermastersrowing.com and search for that, you should find it. And it explains the different elements of what to do from the night before when you pack your bag, you get your clothes out, what to eat, what to have ready, what to expect when you arrive at the regatta venue, right through to when you have finished your race. And so back to the topic of today, of your first race, and while being a fast learner, you feel that you're not ready. The things that will help you feel most ready are practicing ahead of time. And then the best way to overcome those fears is actually to do a race. Because once you've done one, you know what to expect the next time. And I will say that everybody's story of their first race is fantastic. It's not necessarily wonderful all the way through. A lot of people have unexpected things that happen. And the story is great because you learn about how the unexpected came about and what you did after it. And so do speak to your crewmates, your clubmates, and ask them about their first race, because you'll learn a lot just by hearing what they have to say. There is a wonderful book by Barry Strauss called Rowing Against the Stream, on learning to row at 40. And in it, his description of his first ever Coxed Fours race is brilliant. I'll put a link into the show notes. I have given that book so many times to people who are new to the sport and want to get racing, so that you understand that what you experience, although unique to you, you will have a lot in common with everybody else too. Best luck, and I do hope you do go and do your first race.
We are part of the Rowing Chat Podcast Network. Please tell your fellow rowers about the show. If you've learned just one helpful thing from today's episode, please consider supporting the show for as little as $1 per month by visiting fastermastersrowing.com/podcast.